Hello everyone and welcome to Online Storytime. This week's story is about dance because it goes with our theme for summer reading, which is read to the rhythm. And this is a reading log that if you come into the library and sign up for summer reading, you will get one of these logs and you write down 10 books that you read and you can bring it back and you can win some prizes. Or if you don't want to go into a library, you can sign up online at kclsummerchallenge.org and log your books that way. Anyway, all right. So now you know how to participate in summer reading. We're going to go ahead and get started with our story time. First thing we're going to do is get some of the energy out of our hands. Are you ready? So clap, clap, clap your hands as slowly as you can. Clap, clap, clap your hands as quickly as you can. Okay, ready? Shake, shake, shake your hands as slowly as you can. Shake, shake, shake your hands as quickly as you can. You see those fast hands? I see fast hands? All right. Roll, roll, roll your hands as slowly as you can. Roll, roll, roll your hands as quickly as you can. Okay, last one. Rub, rub, rub your hands as slowly as you can. Rub, rub, rub your hands as quickly as you can. Be careful, we must start a fire. All right, we are ready for our first story. It's called Hattie, the Dancing Hippo, and it's by Jillian Powell. Hattie wanted to dance. She tried ballet. No one could lift her. She tried ballroom dancing. No one was tall enough to dance with her. She tried tap dancing. Then swing dancing. I'll never be a dancer, Hattie thought. She's sad. She tried one more class. She wobbled. She wiggled. And she waggled. Hattie was belly dancing. She was the best in the class. Because she's a hippo, so she's got a good-sized belly to be belly dancing, isn't she? Yeah. So Hattie got to dance after all. She found the perfect kind of dance just for her. All right. Our next story is called Bats Around the Clock, and it's by Kate Appelette. The cameras were rolling. It was live from coast to coast, a special 12-hour program, and Click Dark was the host. At 1 o'clock Pacific time, those bats began the shrug. At 2 o'clock, Click Dark said, "Stop, it's time to jitterbug." All across the nation, all around the world, on TV sets from here to there, those rockin' bats did roll. With ponytails and bobby socks, at 3 they took a spin. At 4 o'clock, Click said, "Let's bop," and bats began the swim. 60 minutes later, our host cried out, "Let's jive." With a swingin' and a swayin', that's what they did at 5. There was rockin' in the rafters, there was dancing in the street. Then they did the locomotion and they boogied to the beat. Well, they shimmied and they shammied till the clock turned round to 6. Chubby checkers took the stage and bats began to twist. They twisted left and twisted right until the hour of 7. There was shakin', there was shoutin', it was rockin', rollin' heaven. At 8 o'clock, the bats hip-hopped and danced the hoochie-coo. At 9 o'clock, those bats got down and did the bugaloo. Just when it seemed they'd all poop out, they broke into the pony, and before the hour was over, they even did the hokey pokey. The hokey pokey? By 10 p.m., those boogie bats were grooving in their boots. At 11, it was plain to see the group was cutting loose. Now, all across the continent, in dens around the nation, the audience was waiting for the final demonstration. The air was fairly crackling when the moment came at last. The clock struck 12, and Click Dark yelled, "Let's hear it for our guest." He leapt into the spotlight. He belted out the blues. The studio crowd went crazy when they saw his blue suede shoes. He was jumping, he was jiving, he was really in the groove. He had those bats electrified until his final move. Then he sang to them so tenderly, he sang to them so sweet. When the midnight hour ended, the bats were off their feet. At last the show was over, the studio was closed, but tune us in again next year. Click Dark will be the host. In living rooms from north to south, same time, same place, same station, around the clock those bats will rock, a 12-hour bat sensation. So we gotta wait a whole another year for another bat dance party. All right, we are gonna do a dance together. It's called I'm a Little Teapot. I bet you know it. And you can stand up and sing it with me. And we're gonna do the little hand movements. Are you ready? We'll do it twice just so we can get some extra practice. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out. Good job, guys. All right, ready to do it again? Okay. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout, tip me over and pour me out. I did it backwards. Did you notice that? I did my spout first and then my handle. That's okay, as long as we got all the parts. All right, it's time for our next story, and it's called Giraffes Can't Dance, and it's by Giles Andre. Did you know that giraffes can't dance? That's too bad. They have lots of long legs so they could dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Oh no, poor Gerald. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthog started waltzing and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely, and he walked toward the floor. But the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool." "Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." Oh, that's not very nice. They're making fun of poor Gerald. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you, Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. I am dancing. Yes, I am dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived where Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we have ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. It's Gerald's little secret. Then he raised up his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." So poor Gerald, he could dance. He just had to find the right kind of music for him. All right. It is time for our last story, and it's called Frank Was a Monster Who Wanted to Dance, which is kind of silly, isn't it? Do you know any monsters that want to learn how to dance? Well, Frank wants to learn. Frank was a monster who wanted to dance. I knew I could boogie if they gave me a chance. So he put on his hat and his shoes made in France and opened a jar and put ants in his pants. He drove to the theater and jumped on stage. Then he danced like his shoe size instead of his age. Frank shook his shoulders and strutted his stuff. The audience screamed. They couldn't get enough. Frank did a cartwheel and Frank did a flip. Suddenly, his head began to unzip. Uh-oh. Out flopped his brain, which plopped on the floor, which loosened his eyeball, which rolled out the door. Uh-oh, Frank's falling apart. And after his arm fell out of his sleeve, the horrified audience started to leave. But Frank kept dancing. He said, "What the heck?" and laughed as his head fell off of his neck. He said to himself, the one-eyed glance, "I might be a monster, but man, can I dance." He danced so well, he fell apart. That's pretty good dancing. All right. It looks like we have a little extra time, so we have a bonus story, which is always fun to have bonus stories. And it's called Rap-a-Tap-Tap. Here's Bojangles. Think of that. And it's by Leo and Diane Dillon. There once was a man who danced in the street. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He brought pleasure and joy to the people he'd greet. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He didn't just dance, he made art with his feet. Rat-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He danced past doors, some were open, some closed. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He danced past folks in fancy clothes. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He danced through a place people called the Skids. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He danced through crowds of laughing kids. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. His feet fairly flew as he tipped his hat. Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. He briefly paused to pat an old cat. I bet you know these words now, right? Rap-a-tap-tap. Think of that. So now on the next page, you have to say it with me. Are you ready? He danced rain or shine in all kinds of weather. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. People listened each day for his toe-tapping clatter. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. He danced many rhythms that were seldom the same. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. Dance was his passion and it brought him fame. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. Bojangles, Bojangles, that was his name. Rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. All right, that was our last story for today. We hope you will join us next time. And don't forget to sign up for summer reading and read your 10 books. And if you're a little person who doesn't know how to read yet, you can get a grown-up to read to you, and that'll work just fine for us. So sign up for some reading at your local library, or you can go to kclsummerchallenge.org and sign up online. All right, we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.